Hello everyone, E here, welcome to yet another LEGO Hogwarts video. As usual, looking forward to all your comments regarding this week's update. Let's get into it, because the gatehouse is almost finished. And here it is, after a good building session. It seems pretty much done, but it is not done. Still, let's cover what I have handled so far and discuss it. Now, first of all, you see the roof is complete. I decided on this particular way of doing it. Now, I already mentioned that it was very important to go with the similar pattern or the exact pattern as this whole other section of the roof. Now, it was very kind of difficult, as I was talking about it last time, because we need this pyramid shape of the roof not to be quite so tall. Before, I believe it went up to here-ish or so, which I was trying to avoid now. I basically decreased the height. Before, the pyramid started from, we went like this and then like this, and now it is just one shape, which is how it should be. But also I really need to make sure that there is enough space here left, as it is shown in all pictures that I have seen. To achieve that, I have started with a slope here and then followed the same pattern, which meant that the two sides reached up to here, which is fine. Now, this tower was lower than before, so in order to achieve the needed distance between this roof and the beginning of the tower, I needed to move it upwards, which was fine because the towers were a little bit too into the roof itself. So I believe I raised this by 3 bricks. So I added an extra layer over here and raised it up, and over here I carved it. So here it is, what's currently like this. In the back tower, I have not yet raised it. So what we will do is we will add 3 bricks here. So this gap is moved and the tower goes 3 bricks upwards. And this is how it is. Like, as you can see, one tower is lower than the other, but this is the new positioning, and compared to the middle tower, still the height is good. So that solves the problem. Now, obviously you can see that some pieces are missing. I don't have some of these slopes. I believe they will be arriving in the upcoming days. Over here where we have some medium nougat pieces is where I need to replace them, just some markers that I have left. Over here I don't even have any pieces, but the front tower was another thing that took a little bit of tweaking, and I believe still some tweaking is required, because again I wanted the height here to be corresponding in a certain way to this tower, and also the distance between the arch here and the beginning of the lower portion of the tower. I needed to make sure that that is like pretty much as accurate as it can be in this scale. Still not really sure if I'm really happy about the front tower. As I mentioned before, we used before this piece, which now you can see everything that is, well, this is the situation of the old courtyard. Pretty much all these pieces need to be detached and sorted and placed back into bins, but yeah, this piece is what we used before, and I decided, well, should really try to make a tower that is in similar style of the other ones. Now obviously this means that it's 3 studs instead of 2 studs, which posed its own challenges, because in order for this to be dead center, in the end we have only 2 studs over here, and we have a 3 stud module that needs to be centered, which means I use the same old technique that I used, well, every now and then with these snot plates, and a snot plate is this over here. So once we place that, it helps to center basically anything like this, but it leaves these gaps over here, which will be covered by the texture, so it will be fine. But this way it helps to center this where it doesn't really fit. Now over here you can see that the Sword of Gryffindor is hidden here as it was in the old version. Not really sure if I like it this way. Maybe you can give me an opinion, but maybe I'm kind of leaning towards removing the Sword of Gryffindor from here and just placing a tan back wall. So instead of anything being hollow, we'll have a covered insides of this tower, which I feel will be better. Also, the lower section here, I am considering maybe increasing it with some more texture over here, so removing this texture here, this row, and making a little rounded side here, because right now it kind of seems like it's maybe kind of bitten off, although these plates here do resemble this rounded shape, but it's not really that great. I feel like maybe I can round it up a little bit better, something that I'm still thinking about. Now, after all that, obviously with the pieces that need to be recovered and reinserted, we need to apply the texture, and obviously this whole piece here needs to be detached and need to apply all this similar texture with the brick, the snots and the bricks over here, so I can cover it with plates and apply this. But before that, I want to take the time and make sure that I do my best to implement the gates over here. But before that, I need to, well, see exactly how to do it. I do have a few ideas. Until then, let's cover all the other changes that I already did. Now I have moved it forwards a little bit. Hopefully that will help me to show you better. Now as you can see, this gatehouse portion where we have these bars and the clock are back. I'm not really sure they are the way they should be. It's pretty much a testing right now. I need some pieces over here to finish it in the end, these spear-like pieces. But also, I have mentioned, you can probably notice, is that these bars are now not used with this piece here, which I used before, but instead we have these Lego kind of pieces that are stacked together. I believe that is a better option. It will look even better once I place these spears on the end. I might consider of placing another row back here, but we'll see. And then the clock. Before, the clock was a little bit different, and we had this piece here, which was basically an additional texture, and it was slotting in from behind, so it kind of had it made the clock a little bit bigger. But right now I'm not really sure that I want to use it. I am seeing that many pictures really don't have such texture, and the clock is simply like this, and the scaling, I believe, looks a lot better without my little border of the clock. So I feel like maybe this is better. Now whether it should be attached this way, I'm not really sure. The attachment was a little bit different before with plates, which was pretty ugly, but now I use these trans clear bars over here, so that really is a better option, I think. Now whether this white piece will remain, I'm kind of thinking of changing it into a dark bluish gray, as there is a lot of dark bluish gray background behind the clock from all the pictures I can see. So I believe that the dark bluish gray, or at least a light bluish gray, would look a lot better than this white one, but from afar you can't really tell. But I will experiment with different colors. And over here now I'll remove the bars for the time being, so I can show you better. Now I also added this fourth row. You might be able to notice of these arches. We have 1, 2, 3, and then another one, 4. What you can notice is probably that the angle of the arch is a little bit different because these half and halves really are too big. So the one that is further in the back needs to be 2 studs smaller. And we don't have that space, so I used kind of different arches, which is a little bit of a, well, annoying thing, but in the end I need to work with the space that I have, and also with the clock kind of almost overlapping in that gap. I feel like that's a compromise that it's fine to do. Now, the other thing that I did is the drawers here. I mentioned before that here, before we had windows and now we have walls, but they're removable. Over here, you can see these handles, and we have them on both sides, and I can pull them, and this whole drawer is being able to be pulled up. Now, with one hand, it's kind of difficult, but basically the idea is that these handles are up here. Before I had them over here because the more center they are, the better, but they were visible from the front, which kind of didn't make sense, so I decided to hide them up there so you can't see them, but still you can use that handle to take the drawer out, and you can see that I kind of made it around the shape of this whole space here, so it really covers really well. Now let's take them out. I prefer actually to do that with both hands. Here they are basically the same, except they're mirrored, of course. Now, I was discussing previously that I want to place some little Easter eggs inside of these drawers, basically inside of this little pocket that there is inside the right behind the windows. But actually the space isn't all that much, so I just decided to use these pre-built Marvel little artifacts, basically from one of the sets I have. I think it's the gauntlet set over here, yeah, up there. Thanos' gauntlet, and it came with these mini builds, which I really like. So I placed these here. I want to place some minifigs, for example, Darth Maul and Ahsoka fighting, but there isn't really enough space for 2 minifigs. There's just barely enough space, but it didn't seem like a good idea. So I place them over here with the Tesseract, and this is the flame from the Thor films, I believe. And yeah, this is just a good way to hide them, I guess. I might use the space for something else at some point, but for the time being, it's really, I like them being used here. So yeah, we have this hidden here, and actually they're not really visible when you look here, and neither is the wall from the other side. So I feel like this is a good way to solve this problem and not have holes here on the inside, neither another row of windows. And I've placed everything back together. One other thing that I also should mention is the same thing for over here. Again, we need to implement a module that is 3 studs into 2 studs. So I use the slot plates here on the wall and again over here on the roof in order for this brick to connect, and that really worked fine. I really tried to kind of blend it in as much as possible. Now obviously this will look a little bit better once all the correct pieces are placed and the texture is applied, but it should look and blend in fine. Same thing with the texture here, that is corresponding with the same texture that goes all along the gray hole. Again, over here I keep experimenting, still waiting on the bars, and over here I was trying different stuff, but just currently I'm testing this out with this little texture here, and I replaced these spires here with something a little bit different. They were a little bit too high the way they were before, so this way I feel like it's a little bit more towards what it should be. These 1x1 plates with a hole should be maybe in tan instead of dark tan, but I don't have ones currently, so they'll probably be replaced as well. But other than that, I feel like that's all of it. Just a lot of fine tuning that needs to be done still, and I will spend the next several days to basically just go around, let this rest a little bit, let this marinate in my mind, and do some changes now and then to corresponding to what I feel that could be improved. Obviously, once these pieces that need to be replaced arrive, I will place them in and see what if I can do some other more major building. I probably will, unless I really don't have much time. But yeah, what I really want to do next is to work on the gates in addition to all the little improvements. I don't think I'll go into adding the last layer of texture just yet. That's one of the last things I really want to do. So I am really pushing towards just finishing the main things and ironing out the things that need to be fixed really before starting that. But yeah, the doors are really a problem. I really want to make sure and do my best to implement them in a way that they are inside this wall here and they can open on the inside as they should, as many people have been stating. And after that, the leaving here with the texture should be easy enough. It probably will be just a little bit time consuming. I actually had some time to work on the doors, and namely how the doors should be. And I'm very happy to report that the doors actually are now better. They open inwards as they should be. I have removed all the hinges here on the side, and now they're attached on the other side. I will show you on the other side just for a bit. I have also reduced to achieve that really by I have reduced over here by one stud on both sides, so on two studs, so there is enough space for the doors to actually be inside of the wall instead of being slightly in front of the wall. Now over here you can see how it is. Now I have dug one stud inside of the wall. The wall is still 2 studs thick, and over here on this last stud I have removed one more column basically and used this technique here with a 1x1 brick with these hinges, and I have added a clip on the bottom and the top, which I decided was the best way to do it. Now over here you see some different colors because I don't have these in the proper colors, but I was testing anyway. So yeah, that's the way it is. I feel like this is a lot better. I'm really happy with it. Then I also changed the height of the gates a little bit. They were a bit higher, but I needed the height to correspond with over here with this arch. The doors were a bit too tall, so I lowered them a little bit to support that a little bit better. I have left over here these all these snots, so I add some texture on the back side as well. Not really sure yet how exactly to approach that, as I have mentioned before, but yes, the opportunity is there. Now on the front side it is pretty much the same, except for over here I am planning to use a triangular shapes in dark brown whenever I get my hands on some of those to kind of complete the look and not really the doors to be out of place. Now let me place this actually back here. I'll probably need 2 hands, so be right back. Here it is with the module placed back in here. Now obviously a lot of stuff needs to be done here as well. Over here the patterns are a bit wrong, but that will be fixed once I do this whole thing. Now I did the construction a little bit different. Now this row here was not here and I changed it to basically stand together a little bit better. But yeah, this row was not here before. Now it just completes the look, especially when I push the courtyard back into place. But yeah, the doors are now, you can open them inwards like so, which is pretty good. So that technique allows me, over here the hinges are a bit stiff, probably due to the pieces, but allows the doors to go as they should be, and there is enough space for, well, a minifig to stand here. The doors are not long enough, so they hit the back wall. That is fine. And yeah, this is the way it should be, in my opinion. It's a lot better. It actually didn't take me all that long of a time to achieve this. I thought it was going to be a bit more difficult, but actually it was it just took a bit more time to make this more stable. Now obviously we place this back into its slot here, and then we place the courtyard back here with the bars here that are still not completely finished, but I need to make sure that over here this clips into place. Something fell, but I will handle it later. Now obviously again with one hand this is a bit more difficult than it should be, but there we go. And there we go. And here it is. Now it's a bit dark in there because the light is not correct, but you get the idea how this goes. So this module, obviously we need to add texture here like so, but that will be probably for next time. But now that I have done the doors and the hinges as they should be, next I will focus on remodeling this, placing some snots, fixing all the steps here as they should be over here, adding all the texture. So that will be what I'll be doing next time, as well as fixing all these colors here, and I will probably even add all the texture on all these sides similar to here, and any other ironings that I need to fix. Over here some pieces are missing, over here the height is a bit whacked, and all in all just any little edits that are needed I will do next time. So yeah, I feel like that is pretty much it for this update. I'm pretty happy the way this is going, so maybe next time I will actually be able to show you this whole great hall completed finally. And we will start on the side building and also a lot of other stuff that I need to improve, like the gardens here. I have a few ideas, but yeah, the project never ends, but this whole thing will be done. More minifigs here will need to be placed in the courtyard. So yeah, a lot of other stuff. But yeah, tell me what you think. I feel like the doors actually was the only thing I was really worried about, but it turns out that I would manage to fix that a lot better than I expected, and a lot sooner and a lot easier. So pretty happy with that. So once again, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, leaving down a comment, and sharing your opinion of this whole project. Really happy that and grateful that so many people are following me through this journey. And yeah, you will see me again in the next 2 weeks with yet another update of what is going on with this and all the little new additions to the castle. I will see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy, and bye for now.